Welcome to the Statesman's 2023 Sex and Relationships Special Issue.
I would say anything that makes me feel safe. That's a really big thing for me in my relationships, and I think once I feel safe emotionally, everything just follows.
I mean, I guess that leans into, your love languages. Communication in general, I think, actually is probably a good form of non-sexual intimacy, and then through that you can discover other things.
Willingness to be very open and vulnerable with people.
For some people, their relationship isn't really romantic without sex, and I guess that's how some people separate platonic from romantic relationships.
The sexual part doesn't have to be necessary, right? I mean, taking care of a person, worry for them, that never requires sex in the process, to be honest.
I don't think it's a defining factor. I don't think that love and sex have to be necessarily intertwined.
For some people, yeah, it's very important. I mean, it's not unimportant to me.
I do think there is a such thing as non-sexual intimacy in terms of platonic love versus romantic love, things like that.
If the underlying emotional relationship doesn't work, the sexual relationship is kind of worthless.
The two can be separated, but just like Sam said, when you have an emotional connection with somebody and you also have sex with them, it makes it that much better.
Definitely not. That's kind of invalidating to people that are asexual.
Personally, I think to be in a relationship is to kind of have that feeling of being accepted, being appreciated, being recognized by another person.
For me personally, I think I am a very sexual person, so it does play a big part in my relationships for sure. Like I said earlier, that's just something that you would definitely communicate with, and I don't think that has to be even a deal breaker.
So having those other non-sexual intimacy is kind of necessary. A lot of times it has nothing to do with sex, right? Sometimes you come home, you feel down, right? You need a hug, maybe you want someone to talk it out. None of those have to be sexual, right? Which is, I think, the ultimate reason for a healthy relationship.
Quality time and cuddling, and also watching my favorite shows.
I guess it's just cuddling and also watching movies together, or going out, picking up some restaurant, reading books, or going to the bookstore.
Going somewhere with my partners, or maybe just, stay home, pet a cat.
Cuddling, just hanging out, talking, sharing music, memes.
I usually start off by asking how people give and receive love, because I can buy someone all the gifts in the world and that wouldn't really matter to them. So if it's quality time that they choose, then I'll spend more time with them. If they like acts of service and that's also a way that I show love, then that's how it will go.
I think emotional intimacy is a big part of non-sexual intimacy. It's really important for me to be able to be vulnerable with a partner.
Asking questions and be willing to listen to the answer. Make sure that you're being heard, because if you're in a relationship with, say, you have to apologize, over and over without forgiveness, or say, person's not giving you the same energy you're giving them, well, that's no good, is it?
Building trust to truly understand somebody and understand that I'm not just with you because I'm seeking somebody to fill this role of a partner. I want to know that you're the person that I want to be my partner.
It definitely is, because once that cupcake phase passes and the veil of lust is lifted, if you don't actually have an emotional connection, then it's just a sexual relationship and not necessarily a romantic relationship.
I mean, I think it's really important. I think sex is way too prioritized, and a lot of the other things are pushed away, and that can lead to really harmful, toxic situations. So taking the time to understand who this person is, who you are, and then meeting in the middle, I think that is how you'll actually have a good, successful partnership.
Well, I am in a queer relationship, and my partner dresses mask, and a lot of the times we get the comment about who's the man, but also they automatically assume that she's the man in the relationship, which is kind of stupid because the entire point of our relationship is that there's no man.
A big part of stereotypes is like people projecting what they're insecure about. And I feel like if you're secure in yourself and you're secure in your relationship, like all of that kind of goes away. This is my first queer relationship, and like
Mine too.
yeah. So it's been kind of difficult to navigate a little.
Well, I'm a polyamorous queer woman, so just being, polyamorous, bisexual, and trans, I kind of defy a lot of people's expectations of how relationships are supposed to work, insofar as, say, being in love with multiple people of various genders.
So I was born and raised in Peru. It's a very conservative society in which like religion has like a really high toll of what society thinks. So at first I thought like when I came out as asexual, I was like, is that the way I was brought into like purity culture? But then I slowly explored my sexuality. It just started to just like, I don't think that's the case.
It's very much a learning experience and like a learn as you go, and I think that's why communication's been so important for the both of us. I think that's what it means to be queer for me, to be outside the norms and the stereotypes, and to just whatever works for me and my partner, like we communicate and we figure that out. As long as we're having fun and enjoying ourselves and like supporting each other along the way, like I think that's what really matters.
I would say be patient, be open to listening and having a different point of view.
It may be a little scary just to go out and like experience your own sexuality. It's actually like good talking to other people who identify as asexual.
I think when you're solid in yourself and you work on yourself, the non-sexual intimacy part becomes a little bit easier because you're like, hey, this is me, this is what I have to offer.
Keep an open mind, listen, and speak up.
I learned to be more comfortable in my sexuality, actually. I was very, I think, hesitant with the whole idea of coming out, and so I just didn't. I just showed up at home and was like, this is my partner.
Don't fix your expectations, right? When you meet a person or when you walk into a relationship, don't like expect this thing just to be that way or that thing to be that way. So
You owe it to yourself to be able to live a life that you love, and that's like authentic to you. And everyone should be able to do that, yeah.
To check out the rest of the Sex and Relationships special issue, go to sbstatesman.com or click the link below.